What's up, friends and family of YouTube? It's Pastor Bob. So I had said in another video that I was going to show you these coins. So this is an 1858 seated dollar. L for New Orleans. And this one here is an 1859 seated dollar. O for New Orleans. This one here is a little bit better. If you look. But they're both, I mean, the thing about it is how many are left? Really. And the thing about it is, I gotta tell you something. I was talking with an old coin collecting friend of mine, and he was like, Bob, I have gone to coin shows and flea markets, he says, and different places on eBay and different places on the internet. He says, and you will not believe how many fakes are out there. I said, no, I can believe it. Because, there's thieving, lying, cheating people everywhere. Everywhere. People are out of control. They just don't give a shit. Right? Anything to get ahead and screw everybody else. It's just the type of society that we live in. You could say no, but it's everywhere. And it's terrible, and it's out of hand. And eventually, the people who are having it done, the good people, I hate to say it, they're not going to be so good anymore. They're going to rise up, and it ain't going to be good. And, look, eventually everybody gets that come to Jesus meeting. And, that's the way it is. So, when people ask me, well, what do? You got to go to the right people, right? You got to go to the right people. And how you know the right people? Well, they're pretty transparent, right? Usually those people are doing massive amounts of business, right? And they're taking their time to inspect everything, check everything. Make sure that the legitimacy's there. And like I tell people, when you're buying an older coin, something like this, right? Look, if you're watching videos, you can tell they have a certain contrast about them. They have a certain wear type to them. And that's why I don't buy a lot of AU and, mint state coins. And people say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, unless I'm buying them straight from the mint, or they are graded and certified, right? Or I know those people that I've been dealing with for years are selling them. And I asked the question, have you already, done a ping test? Have you already put them on a verifier? Have you already looked at them underneath the microscope? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not buying them. I'm just not. I mean, I got ganked one time on 3 Morgan coins. And after that, I said, nope, not happening again. This was a few years back. And I was like, no. If they, on eBay, if they don't have 100% feedback, but I ain't doing business with them. We don't know them to be good people. So are you going to pay a little bit more for the good ones? Probably. Everything's going up, and when it comes to vintage coins, expect to pay it. I would rather pay $5 or $6 more than to pay $5 or $6 less and know I just got screwed. Just, I'm telling you guys, you got to be careful. Please be careful. Don't take this as a rant. It's not me ranting. It's just me saying, this is the truth. This is the way it is. And I would hope that, in the future you guys are more selective. It's just like when I do my auctions, which are very rare. But when I do online auctions, usually in the wintertime, I have a selected amount of them. I have gone through them first to make sure that everything, again, even though they have been, because anything can happen. And I just want to make sure that my people are getting exactly what they asked for. That's it. It is what it is, right? And they're happy, and I'm happy, and we can continue to do it. I've had people lately say, "How come you don't have more online coin auctions?" First off, the prices are what they are, and they're going all over the place, and it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. I mean, I'm not going to sell them for less than what they're worth, and most of the time when I do auctions, I'm giving to some charity or some people or helping somebody out. I mean, I'm not going to sell them for what I paid for them. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But most of my people know that. They know what the charity is. And that's the only reason why I do it. And to give some education, which I'm always constantly learning too. And so, probably has not much to do with these coins, but it does, If you look, I don't post a whole lot of things about coins on my channel. From not here and there, I do. But, because there's so many people that are a lot more educated with them. But when you work with coins, there's certain things that you notice, But I'll tell you what, those Chinese people, it's not all Chinese, but the ones that are knocking these out and people know about it, and there's hundreds of people working in these shops, right? And they know about it. They don't care. Now, if they made them and they posted them as, an homage to this coin, it is not made of pure silver, and they designated it and they put it in a case, right? And they noted it all around the case, not real, copy, and marked it as a copy, that's different. And people know that it's not real and it's not the real metals that the real coins are made of. That's different, right? And there are some people that do that. But there's hundreds of millions of these things flying around. And some people think they got the real thing and they go to sell it. And maybe they don't even know that they're selling it. Maybe they really don't. Maybe they think they got something good. And they do it on a flea market or eBay or Etsy or something. And they wonder why people are pissed. Well, that's why. Because you didn't do your homework. So don't get into selling coins and flipping coins and doing all that stuff unless you do your homework. Okay? And make sure you're being educated by the proper people. That's really important, guys. Okay? I mean, even dealers. I've seen dealers screwing people. And even, the older dealers are scratching their head going, why? Now, if somebody's selling something for a good cause and they're trying to make a few bucks, hey, I can see that. But if you're a dealer, right, you need to know your business, right? I'm not expecting you to sell it for gray sheet or under gray sheet or, 10% or 20% under spot or melt. It's not what I'm saying here. I understand how the coin business works. And if you're in the business, and you're checking, and you got to have certain types of, machines and things like that. And you got to keep the inventory and the lights on. I get it, right? It's about supply and demand, and they got the supply and you have the demand, right? They should be paid extra. You can't expect everything to be cheap. It's just like no different than guitars, right? People want the freaking guitars cheap when you hand build them in your shop because they think that everything coming out of China or Indonesia, because they're lower price and a machine's doing them, that they should be that price or lower. Well, that's not how it works. Okay? If you want an item that somebody has and they've spent the time to, make that item available for you and you like it, then, well, maybe you can reason with them and barter with them and try to get the price down a little lower, but don't try to screw them. Look, nobody works for free, right? I mean, be reasonable. That's all I'm saying. Just be reasonable, right? Somebody's giving you a good coin, and it's, and it's a coin that appeals to you, right? Whatever it is. I don't care if it's a coin, watch, guitar, car, house, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter, right? There may be always some leniency there, right? And it all has to do with how you present yourself. If you go with an attitude and chip on your shoulder, well, if they're a beta, you might get away with it. But if they're an alpha, all you're going to do is create a problem for yourself. Don't do that. Be wise. Be educated, right? That's, my grandfather had a saying, and his saying was, you get a lot more stuff with honey than you do vinegar in a conversation. Because once you get a bit of taste in your mouth for somebody, that sticks with you. So, most of the people that come to my channel already understand that, right? They get it. They understand what I'm talking about. But there may be people that come to the channel that, they might get mad because I'm talking like that. Well, I'm saying that because I'm advising the people who come here, be wise, be educated. Just because it looks like something doesn't necessarily mean it is. Ask questions before you buy. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions, And sometimes it could be you're looking for specific coins. You got the specific coins written down in a little book, right? Know the date, how many were made, right? And what mintage, that may be still in existence. And what mint, how many different coins were made in certain specific mints, Basic information will help you. That's all. And you can always compare them to maybe some visualization of stuff that's online and whether they're 90% or maybe some coins are 80%. Know those things. Know the basics of the coins before you set off and just go on a buying spree. It's your safety net. And you'll be glad you did. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed these little coins. They're pretty nice. I like them. And they'll be a nice addition to my collection. Something different, right? All right, guys. Take care. God bless. This is Pastor Bob. See you on the next one. Please like, share, subscribe. We're getting there. Been grinding away for a few years now. And we're slowly creeping up there to 1,000. Boy, I tell you what, I see some of these overnight wonders doing the stupidest things on YouTube, right? No lie. Next thing you know, they're at 10,000 just for stupid stuff. And here I am. I sit here and buy all kinds of stuff and educate people. And I mean, I am just chugging along trying to get there. Ah, man. Just goes to show you. Just goes to show you guys. You know what I'm saying. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, guys. Take care. God bless. I love y'all. Have a safe and happy weekend. And we'll see you in the next video. Pastor Bob, I'm out of here. See ya.